Why so? I was angry before, but I circled the drain in my mind. I can't find. Don't let the sun go down. Don't let the sun go down. I was angry before, but I circled the drain in my mind. I can't find. Don't let the sun go down. Don't let the sun go down. Don't let the sun go
Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it'll cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering why my mind keeps on spinning. This isn't how living to me was told. Why am I like this? Something's always amiss. Can't put my finger on it, but it's there. Wait for it to subside, but my mind won't apply. Waiting for the clear. Is it bad sometimes? I like it when I lose control. There's something in it that's so beautiful. Listen, I can see the light dim, but I can also see the bones decay. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm doing my best not to run away. Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it'll cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering how the world keeps on spinning, kinda scared of living when it unfolds. Hard to see the light when everything is silent, waiting for the clear. Thankful I'm alive, but terrified of dying. But hey, I'm still here. Is it bad sometimes? I like it when I lose control. There's something in it that's so beautiful. Listen, and I can see the light. But I can also see the bones again. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm doing my best not to run away. You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets so lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence, and the dark's all that I see. When your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound, I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You're the night sky hiding behind dark gray clouds. I can't figure you out now. I see your blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the tide. I can't find the point where our two paths align. But you're the night sky. I'm trying to see your stars, but I've always feared the dark. Now I see violet. I can feel your silence. You always feel so far when your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound. I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky.
I get lost inside my thoughts, and when I start to think, oh, the time how close it starts to end up on the brink. I tried so hard, but all these scars, they cut so deep, I bleed. I fell so fast from heaven, it's like someone clipped my wings. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe, and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye. can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye.
Baby, wait, I know that you're afraid, but it'll be okay if you just stay with me. And we can run from here and we can disappear, and they won't find us where we are going, dear. So baby, hold on to me, 'cause I know I can make you believe something that only we can see. Oh, so baby, hold on to me, hold on to me.
ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our clouds when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on the full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mess me up, tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drive me around in your red Ford, shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost the
Okay, everyone, we're about to begin. So just getting the sound levels right. All right. So welcome to another one of our patient health workshop series. I'm Dr. Neil Gardner, and I look forward to spending the rest of the time with you. For those of you who are able to tune in on our YouTube or the Facebook pages, you would have seen that this week has been a very important week in the life of our practice, and you would have learned that we celebrated our 10th year of operations. So this week was our 10th anniversary, specifically May 30th, which happened to be Sunday. And on Sunday, we took out a supplement in the Gleaner that goes into a lot about the history of the practice, a lot about some background information about me, and we had congratulatory messages from many influential persons in Jamaica, including the Governor General, the Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition, the Minister of Health, the Opposition Spokesperson for Health, the Minister of Sport. So it was wonderful from a local perspective, but we also had special congratulatory messages from overseas as well, from the former president of the chiropractic school that I attended, as well as the former vice president of the chiropractic school that I attended. So busy times. And so I'm grateful to have this opportunity to spend with you all. Yes, it is late. Well, for some of you it's early, but for me it's late because I've been going non-stop virtually, except for a 10-minute lunch break. Well, it was 20 minutes, but it took me about 10 minutes to heat up my food. So about a 10-minute lunch break, and then about another 15 minutes after my last patient left before I am back here sitting in front of you to go over the information that we're about to go over. So the question is, why would I go through all of that? The answer is simple. Because I care about the health of the persons who come to me, and I care about the health of persons in general, and I would like to ensure that we do whatever it is that we can so as to make it a beneficial experience for them, for you. And so that's why I do it. All right? So you know, yeah, makes me feel good about myself. So if there are any questions or comments before we jump right in, please feel free to share. If at any point in time you would like to ask any questions of me, feel free to raise them. I'm gonna see whether I can actually. There is a handout that normally goes with this lecture, but we've not been using that handout because, of course, we're not in person. But the handout could be of benefit, so I'm gonna see if there's a way that I can get it to you. Let me just look here online. If this were a Zoom meeting, I would just simply share my screen and you would be able to see it, or just download it or upload it to you somehow. But this is on YouTube, so I can stream my thing. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try to see if I can get something done here for you. So give me one quick second while I organize myself here and see if I can make this experience just a little bit better for you before we begin. All right, so if you just afford me that time here as I look. Da, 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 da. Okay, let's see if this is it. Okay. Yeah, this is it. This is it. So I'm going to I'm going to try to add this as a slide, but if I do that, it may interfere. All right, so I'm going to copy this page. Let me see here. All right. I'm going to save it there. Almost there, guys. Just bear with me. We're almost there. We're almost there. All right. So now I can go to my PowerPoint and insert this slide. Almost there. Dun, 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 dun. I'm doing very well. Boom. All right, so we're getting there. Let me just. Yes, I think this will help you make your experience a little bit better. A little bit better, yes? All right. Perfect. I think that is good. That is good. Good, good, good. Save that. And then I'm gonna publish it. Good. You see, I like making things easier for my people. Yes. There we are. I hope you like it when I bring it up. All right, so let us begin, shall we? If you're hearing me okay, please let me know if you're having any difficulties hearing. I need to know because I'm going to get rocking and rolling here. And I hope you guys can all keep up. And I hope you're going to have fun tonight. And I hope you learn a lot. So please let me know if you are hearing me okay. So I just give a second to see if you are all able to hear me, and if I get that acknowledgement, then we begin right away with no further ado. Ooh. All right, still waiting to get that confirmation, and let's see who will be the first to confirm. If they can hear me clearly. Good. Thank you, Kevin. All right, so let us begin. Thank you, Paulette. Thank you, Irene. Perfect. Thank you, guys. So let us get started. Let us get started. It's already 6:45, so we are really already way behind. Hopefully, most of you are already at home, because if you're not at home, then the curfew situation might not work out for you. But I think the curfew, as of this evening, has moved an hour later. So I think it's until 9 o'clock now. So we should be in good shape, or you should be in good shape if you're still on the road. All right, because we're not gonna go till that late. We should be wrapping up in about 45 minutes. So there you have it. So the 7 keys to getting and staying well. All right, this is what we're going to be talking about, and the importance of what we're going to talk about here is that I've recognized that persons who do not understand what it takes to be to have good health, they end up frustrating themselves trying to achieve it, but because they don't know exactly what to do, it's very difficult. So the ignorance about what to do makes doing it very difficult. For example, there's so many people who want to be able to eat healthier, but unfortunately healthy foods are not that easy to come by. And so you will find that it is easier for persons to eat very unhealthily than for them to eat healthily. Unhealthy foods tend to be cheaper, it tends to be more readily available, and they occupy more aisle space in the spaces in the supermarkets. If you want to be healthy, you have to shop from a different section in the supermarket from what you're accustomed to. For example, when I shop, I oftentimes will go only to the produce section. And the only time I'll go outside of the produce section is if I want to pick up, say, some oats, or some raisins, or some, something else, right? Peanuts, different mixed nuts. Otherwise, I exclusively shop in the produce section. And I do that because I understand what is required and I understand what it takes to be able to do so, right? Or to live healthily. So it is important. Now, when we look at persons who are trying to prepare dinners, they think that, for example, if you're going to become a vegetarian, like I am now a vegetarian, most people think that for dinner, lunch, and breakfast, all you can have are salads. But that's because you don't understand what vegetables are. And it's not just a matter of vegetable matter, which is leafy green vegetables. There are many other vegetables. And so you can get a lot, carrots, squash, eggplant, zucchini, lots of herbs and spices. They all are fair game when it comes to a vegan lifestyle. So yeah, you have to kind of know what you want to do. So getting well requires a certain level of understanding, and hopefully by spending some time following us through this presentation, you will get a better understanding of what is required and what it takes to be healthy. All right, so let us begin. So this is what I wanted to make sure that you all got a chance to have, and that is this handout, right? So if you want to do a screenshot here, let me kind of just get myself out of the picture here, and so you guys can do a screenshot. If you do a screenshot, you'll be able to kind of take a mental note of the answers to these questions as we go along. So the 7 keys to getting and staying well are as follows. Key 1, sick care versus healthcare. Key 2, the truth about pain. Key 3, the nervous system. Key 4, lifestyle stresses and how they cause subluxations. Key 5, the general adaptive potential. 6 is identifying subluxations, and 7 is taking responsibility. So this is what we're going to be discussing. All right. So let us begin. Let us begin. So the 7 keys to getting and staying well. Key number 1: sick care versus health care. And so when we talk about sick care, we're talking about a system. And yes, Mira, yes, you may get a copy tomorrow, or how can I make it available? So you can just download it easily, right? And I'm thinking about our older people who might not understand Google Drive and those things. I'll figure it out. But yes, if you come to the office, you can always get a copy. So here we go. Sick care versus health care. When I talk about sick care, we're talking about the what we call traditionally the healthcare system, and when I refer to it as being sick care or illness care, what I'm simply saying is that the primary focus of that system is caring for the sick. It is not saying that it causes illness or it promotes illness in any way. It's caring for the sick. So when you care for the sick, one of the downsides to that is that you end up having a model that is reactive in nature. Who understands what we mean by reactive? By reactive, we simply are saying your system requires you to wait for something to go wrong first, and then you try to intervene. And the problem with that is that what if the thing that goes wrong is something that you cannot fix? Or what if the thing that goes wrong is something that is going to kill you or kill the patient? Or what if the thing that goes wrong is something that there is no solution for, and so you have to live with this thing for the rest of your life? Then, waiting for things to go wrong is not a good idea anymore. So the watchful wait approach that often permeates healthcare, the healthcare system as it is, I'm not a fan of that approach, right? I'm not a fan of that approach. So now, sick care is reactive. If you want to have a chance of true healthcare, you can't simply wait for things to be reactive. You have to ensure that you are taking steps before something goes wrong. And so in order for you to ensure that that happens, you have to be more proactive in your approach. So that's the exact opposite of being reactive. So instead of waiting for things to go wrong and then responding to that has gone wrong, we want to do things that are required to prevent things from going wrong in the first place. And by preventing it, I don't mean necessarily that we're saying we're going to guarantee that nothing will ever go wrong. We can't do that. But what we're doing is that we're tipping the odds in our favor. So rather than having an 80% chance of having a disease based on your lifestyle, you want to have about a 20% chance or 10% or 5% or even less chance of contracting the disease based on the choices that you make. All right, so that's how we're going to look at true healthcare versus sick care. Now, in this system, we find or we know that the majority or the number one reason that people take advantage of the healthcare system or are patients of the healthcare system, the number one reason is the choices that you make in your life, what we call lifestyle choices. Your lifestyle choices cause the issues that most people have today. And unless it is that you're going to change your lifestyle, then your problems are going to persist. And that's not good. So wherever you see a bolded item, by the way, is a fill in the blanker. So reactive and proactive. Sick care is reactive. True health care is proactive. And if you're taking notes, you can just pay attention to the bolded items. That kind of gives the gist of the slide. We have to adjust the way we think if we want to adjust the way we behave. Because many people don't understand the psychology of it all. If somebody behaves a particular way and you want them to change the way they're behaving, you can't simply force behavioral change on them. What you do is you try to get them to see things in a different way. If you can successfully get them to see things in a different way, then they have a better chance of not succumbing to whatever it is that's going on, or they have a better chance of changing their behavior to something that's more beneficial to them or to somebody else. But there are two ways of thinking, and so we're going to talk about the way that the majority of us would think, and I almost say naturally think, versus the way that I would suggest is better for you to think. So when we look at it, illness care, the first way that the first question that they ask is, if they have a problem, if they have pain or whatever, is what can I take to feel better? Doc, you have anything I can take to feel a little better? Doc, you have anything I can take to ease this pain? As if pain relief is the most important goal when somebody has pain. Now, simply saying I want to feel better is not good enough, in my opinion. What is a better question to ask than simply saying, what can I do to feel better, or what can I take to feel better? Is to ask the question, what can I do in order to get better? Because getting better is way more important than simply staying or simply feeling better, right? Because it's possible to feel better without getting better at all. And this is how drugs work. Most drugs will help you to feel a little better without helping you to actually get better. And that's the downside about these medications, most medications. So we want people to get better, not just feel better. Next thing is getting well. Wellness is not a destination. We don't simply say that we want to be well and you're just automatically well. Wellness is a journey, it's a process. And as soon as you stop journeying or you stop going along with that process, then you are setting yourself up for failure and you're setting yourself up for frustration. Because getting well cannot be the goal. What's a better goal than simply saying, what can I do to get well? Is what can I do in order to, or what must I do in order to stay well? Because staying well is way more important. Staying well is way more important. And it also suggests that whatever it is that you're doing, you have to continue to do it over a period of time. Otherwise, you may not maintain your state of health. So that's also important. And thirdly, staying alive, where we measure currently how well the healthcare system is doing based on how long people are living. And we're saying that there are more people alive today than there were 30, 40 years ago. And that's because of the wonders of healthcare, and that's not true. Yes, healthcare would like to claim that they're responsible for people living longer, but how long people live is not based on anything to do with man. That's a relationship between you and God. And when God is ready to call you home, He's gonna call you home, and it doesn't have to be because of a health condition. So bear that in mind. All right. But staying alive cannot be the ultimate goal to determine if we're doing well. Feeling alive is way more important. Well, for me at least, because what's the point in staying alive, or if being animated and alive, if you can't think for yourself, you can't reason, you can't interact, you can't be independent, you can't even go to the toilet by yourself? What's the purpose of that, right? My goal is not to be that. My goal is to ensure that I have the best quality of life possible now, so that I'll have the best quality of life possible then. So I want to feel alive, not simply staying alive. And so I want you to look at the way that these things are set up. You will see that instead of simply having feel, get, stay, it is get, stay, feel. Very important. Instead of feel, get, stay, it is get, stay, feel. Get better, more important, stay well, and ultimately to feel alive. Now, the second key is the truth about pain. Is pain a good thing or a bad thing? That's a question I'd like to ask. And irrespective of whether we understand that pain is a good thing or not, it is important that we understand that pain has a purpose. And the purpose of pain is that it alerts us that something has changed and needs our attention. Pain alerts us that something has changed and needs our attention. And this is so very important, because if we don't recognize this, then we end up in all sorts of trouble. And so we want to make sure that we are taking advantage of that information. What is the purpose of pain, right? But not only just looking at the purpose of pain, it's important that we understand that there are limitations to pain. And what is one of the limitations of pain? The main limitation of pain itself is that pain doesn't always warn you when something has gone wrong. I mean, if you think about cancer, for example, most cancers that I know of, they do not start out with pain as one of the earlier signs or symptoms. So by the time pain comes in, it's already too late and it's already way, way gone, right? Michael says that pain is good. The more pain you have, is the less likely you are to agree with Michael. So, maybe it is good. It certainly has some very important roles, and one of them is to alert us that something has changed and requires our attention. The problem with pain is that it cannot be trusted to tell us accurately when something has gone wrong. Certainly not all the time. And having good health does not mean, or feeling good does not mean that your health is good. Feeling good does not mean that your health is good. If you want to ensure that your health is good, you have to make sure that the quality of your life is good and your body is functioning appropriately. And how do you know if your body is functioning appropriately? By testing it, right? You check. You want to find out, how is your body doing? But not only by checking it, but by also doing the things that you know are required to maintain the body in good working order. So trust function, not feeling. This slide, so this one here, let me take myself off here. For this one here, there are many systems of the body, and these different systems have different roles to play in keeping us healthy. There is the immune system, the digestive system, the cardiovascular system, the integumentary system, respiratory system, endocrine system. And by the way, let me back up here. The integumentary system represents the coverings of the body, the skin, and the different coverings of the body. The endocrine system are hormones and glands that secrete, form part of our endocrine system. Our reproductive system, obviously for procreation. Our excretory system. And our excretory system is important because if we can't eliminate waste from our bodies, then there will be toxic buildup. And toxic buildup will destroy our health. And it's destroying the health of many persons because they do not eliminate well. And so there are some people who, when they may go to the toilet once or twice a week, some persons it's even less than that. And so if you can't eliminate, and you really ought to be eliminating after every meal. So if you eat 3 times a day, you should eliminate 3 times a day. But at least every day you should have a very large bowel movement if you're eating adequate foods, you should have a very large bowel movement, because the amount of bowel movement or bowel action that you have should equate to how much food you're putting in. All right, so it's important that you understand that. Musculoskeletal system, that's also important, and the nervous system is important as well, with the nerves and the brain and the spinal cord, and the immune system. These are all the important systems of the body. These are all the important systems of the body. And if they're working well, then our bodies will be well. We cannot have a healthy body if our digestive system is not working properly. Even if everything else is perfect, we can't have a healthy body if our digestive system is not working properly. We can't have a healthy body if our cardiovascular system is not working properly. Bearing in mind that any system of the body that fails to work appropriately will compromise the integrity of the whole structure. So that's important to realize. That's important to realize. All right, I think I lost my camera here for a second, so let me try to bring it back up. Okay. All right. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue. Because of all these systems of the body, there's one system that's considered to be the master control system of the body. The master control system of the body. And who can suggest which system is the master control system? And if you guess the nervous system, go to the head of the class, because you are right. The nervous system is the master control system of the body. All right. Now, watch how it works. Because the nervous system, the reason it's considered to be the master control system of the body is because of the control it exerts over all the other systems. Now, it's not the most important system, because all the systems are important, because without anyone working properly, then we cannot maintain good health. So in order for us to have good health, all systems must be working properly. Now, if we recognize, however, that though they are all important, there is one that is responsible for the coordination of all the others, which is the nervous system. Then we'll understand the role that the nervous system plays. And so when you look at a skeleton, for example, and I'm just kind of bring up this skeleton here. If you look at the skeleton behind me, and I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit, right? You'll see that from the spine, you have these little yellow things here. That's moving from the spine and going toward the organs. They go to every single organ of the body. Every single organ, from excretory organ to reproductive organs every organ system, to digestive system, to the respiratory system, to heart, the cardiovascular system, and so on. These are all the important systems of our bodies. And so we want to make sure that we we are getting the most out of our understanding by looking carefully now at the relationships between the nervous system and the body. Now, if you understand as well that each of the nerves, and I'm going to show you a slide here in a second that's going to explain how the nerves relate, but these nerves all have to pass between the bones of the spine to get from the spine to the organs that it needs to get to. And so if there is a misalignment in the bones of the spine, it can interfere with the nerves coming out. It's as simple as that. And if you understand that, then you understand how chiropractic works, because the chiropractor's job is to realign the spine so that the body can be restored to good health. So this diagram shows you how the spine is organized with the nerve. These yellow ones here are the nerves. This red one is also a nerve, but it's red in the diagram because it's indicating that something has gone wrong with it. In this case, you can see the opening where the nerve would normally exit is right there. As you come down 3 openings, you see that this one is displaced because it's closed off because the bone is displaced. If you displace a vertebra, you can close off the opening where the nerves have to exit, and thereby causing interference with the nerves. It causes interference. And so whatever the nerve is supposed to control will no longer be working properly. And then this is what causes us to end up in bad situations. So stresses cause subluxations to develop in our systems. It's lifestyle stresses that cause subluxations to occur. And lifestyle stress occurs in 3 dimensions: the physical, the biochemical, and the psychological. These are the things that cause our bodies to break down. The healthier our nervous system is, the better we can adapt to these environmental stresses or changes in our environment. So this is important, right? So the healthier the nervous system is, the better we can adapt. So I'm going to explain to you really quickly with the next slide why we get sick and how that all works. We call it the general adaptive potential, and the general adaptive potential is our ability to adapt to our environmental stresses. Our ability to adapt to our environmental stresses. This is our general adaptive potential. So I'm going to try to demonstrate it here for you, how it works, right? First of all, general adaptive potential, the acronym for that is GAP, gap. And we're going to use a gap that we understand in reality to explain the gap of the general adaptive potential. So the first thing is that every gap has a lower limit. And by necessity, it also has an upper limit. The space between is a gap. The wider the gap is, the healthier you are, the higher your performance. The narrower the gap is, the sicker you are, the weaker your performance. So much so that if your gap is very narrow, it means that you cannot adapt to very much change in your environment. And if it continues to narrow to the point where you can no longer adapt to anything, we call that death. And so the narrower your gap is, the closer you are to death. And the wider your gap is, the closer you are to vitality. So as the upper limit increases, you approach vitality. As the upper limit reduces down to the lower limit, it approaches death. And that's kind of how it works. Environmental stresses is what causes subluxations to occur. Environmental stresses or external stresses cause our subluxations to occur. And our only opposition to that, our only protection, is our internal resistance, the internal resistance of our body. If our bodies are resisting well, then we can adapt. Now, if all the experiences in our lives are within the boundaries of our gap, we do not break down, we do not get sick, we do not falter. It is when the extremes of these experiences go beyond our upper limit to adapt to it, that's when we break down. For example, if you eat poorly and you lack rest, then the potential for that upper limit goes down, and so what was once able to prevent illness before is no longer able to prevent illness, because the life experiences or what you are going to experience in life will exceed your ability to adapt to it, and that is a problem. So the healthier your nervous system is, the wider your gap will be, the better you are able to cope with your environment. And chiropractic is one of the tools that can definitely help in widening your gap. But chiropractic is not necessarily going to fix every problem. In fact, chiropractic is not even about fixing problems. It is about restoring proper alignment to the spine. It is your body that uses that information to fix itself or not. So it doesn't matter how much food you eat. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter how many adjustments you get. It doesn't matter if you are the best adjusted person that gets adjusted twice a day, every day. If your nutritional intake is poor, you will not be healthy. If your sleeping habits are poor, you will not be healthy. You cannot be healthy unless the various dimensions of your health are in good order. And so it's important to understand that. Our goal is to be able to identify subluxations wherever and whenever they appear in our population, and we have specialized technology that helps us to achieve this, and we've invested very heavily in it. So, as you can see, the technology that we have is certified by it's certified by the Space Foundation, which is a division of NASA. Certified by the Space Foundation. This one here, that device is called a rolling thermal scan. It measures the temperature of the skin on either side of the spine. This one over on the other side represents the surface EMG, electromyography, and that also measures the spine, but this time it measures the muscle tension in the spine. So the one over here measures temperature of the skin. This one measures the tension in the muscles. A doctor of chiropractor is a special doctor, and I'm going to just use this diagram to kind of explain what we do and how effectively we do what we do. So the chiropractor realigns the spine, and our claim is that by realigning the spine, it will improve the function of the nervous system. Is there any evidence to suggest that this is even true? And the answer is there are tons of evidence. There are tons of research that has been done over the years, and lots of evidence have been put forward. And here is one very nice little tidbit for you. So I'm going to just kind of bring this up as well. So if you look carefully, what you will see are two brains. One before an adjustment and the other is after an adjustment. It's the same person, the same brain, just about 15 minutes apart. And in the first time when she was adjusted, she had areas of activity in all different quadrants of her brain. Whereas in this one here, you can see that the areas of activity of the brain are much less in the after the adjustment group person. And when you see that, and let me just kind of back up a bit, because there's one thing I didn't share with you, is that there was a task that the person was asked to perform. So it's a pre and post MRI of a female's brain when she's performing the task of wiggling her left ankle. Wiggling her left ankle. And when you looked at it before the adjustment, this is what we saw. And then when we looked at it after the adjustment, this is what we saw. Fewer areas of activity were required to get the job done after the adjustment. And this was an adjustment of the neck, which means that the adjustment changed the way this lady's brain and body communicated with each other. So much so that it became highly efficient after the adjustment, whereas it was very inefficient before. So this is important, right? Now, anyone asks you what kind of a doctor is a chiropractor, please tell them that chiropractors are not bone doctors. We are not bone doctors, because what we do barely affects the bones. What we do impacts the nervous system a whole lot more. And so we want to make sure that that is emphasized. So chiropractors are nervous system doctors, not bone doctors. Nervous system doctors. And that is important. That is important. Now, as we move on to the next slide, let me just bring that back over here. As we move over to the next slide, I'm a specialist within the field of chiropractic called chiropractic neurology. And in our subspecialty, our goal is to be, well, the chiropractor, the regular chiropractor is like the general physician, right? So you have your GPs, and you have your specialists. In chiropractic, it's the same kind of a structure where we have your general chiropractors, and then you have your specialists. Within the field of chiropractic, I have what is called a diplomate in chiropractic neurology. It's a diplomate from the American Chiropractic Neurology Board. And diplomates are very important because they help to educate persons beyond just the average level. Now, a chiropractor will realign the spine, but the chiropractic neurologists will also retrain the brain. This is what we do, and there are many ways that we go about doing this, and there are many conditions that we treat. And of the things that we treat, these are but a few. These are but a few. So developmental delays, learning challenges, dyslexia, dysgraphia. Dysgraphia is illegible writing or having writing difficulties. Neurobehavioral disorders like ADHD, obsessive compulsive disorder, ODD and Tourette's syndrome. Neurodeficits like autism and cerebral palsy. Balance or movement disorders, and brain injuries like traumatic brain injuries or strokes. These are all very important things that we do as chiropractic neurologists, and I have done in my office personally. So this is something I want you guys to be aware of, right? The chiropractic vision is to identify subluxations, or Gardner chiropractic vision is to identify subluxations wherever and whenever they happen using our technology to provide a program of care to place people on a plan to get them better. A plan means it's usually going to be multiple visits over a period of time. We don't do more than about 12 sessions before we do an update examination. So there's a structure to everything. And we also educate our community. We educate our community through means like these. So as I sit here, I'm talking to you and you're learning, hopefully. We are able to educate you. And that's a very important element in all of this, the education. All right. Who's responsible for your health? And this is the ultimate key, the last key, which is taking responsibility. Who is responsible for your health? Is it me? Am I responsible for your health? Is it your general physicians? Are they responsible for your health? Or are you responsible for your own health? You see, we are each responsible for our own health. We are responsible for whatever we put into our bodies, or if we want to get things into our bodies and get them out, we have to know how to eliminate certain things. So that's important, right? So it is our bodies that are, or we ourselves that are important, that are the gatekeepers for our own health and wellness. It is not for anybody else to be responsible. We have to be responsible for our own health. Your doctor is not, no one else is, right? Now, who's responsible for the health of your children or your family if they are dependent on you? Then you become, by proxy, responsible for your children if they are minor children. And that is how it is. So if you make a poor choice, your choice will impact negatively your children. So you want to make wise choices. All right. So I wish that on you. The next thing is a video testimonial that we have. Just to point out, there are many video testimonials that I have on our webpage. I haven't put any new ones up there in a while, but we have a lot on there. This one is one of my favorite ones, one from Joy. So please be sure to read or watch that one and some of the others. It will be very eye-opening. Have any of you already watched it? If you have not yet watched it, let me know. Or watched any of them, let me know. You can indicate in the chat if you've already started looking through our testimonial pages on YouTube. So we're at the place now where there's a very special offer to be made tonight. And so listen carefully to this offer. And bearing in mind also that the next available appointment is a long way away. It's probably in September or closer to October right now. But our offer is this, which means that you don't have to take it up right now, right? You can delay it, you can postpone it a year. There's no time limit on it. So the offer is for anyone who makes an appointment tonight. Well, you don't make the appointment, but you will have to indicate that you are interested in this benefit. If you are a friend or family member and you are interested in benefiting, this is important. So pay attention, right? Just for participating in this class, you'll get a 40% discount off your new patient examination and the neurospinal scan fees. So that 40% discount is a considerable amount of money off if you indicate an interest. So how do you indicate an interest? It is simple. You simply go online and you type in appointments at gcnjamaica.com. It will be appointments at gcnjamaica.com. Very important. So oops. Let me see if I can edit this. No, I have to remove it. I made a spelling error. Alright, appointments at gcnjamaica.com. That's where you'll send your information to if you are interested in taking up this offer. If you are an existing patient, then you don't have to do anything other than ensure that your name is listed in this patient health workshop list, because that's what we're going to use to know that you participated, right? Or that you viewed it. If you are an existing patient, you will get a 20% off an update examination. Now that is after having done 12 sessions with us. At the end of it, you'll get an update examination to do. That update examination is going to cost nearly the same price as the new patient exam. And so you'll get a 20% discount off that examination. You also get a 20% discount off one treatment per person that you refer. So if you refer 10 people, you get 10 free, well, 20% treatment off every 12 people. Or 10 persons, or however many that you refer. But it's one per, alright? 20% discount off each. If you get 10 people, it will be 20% off, which is 2 free treatments if you want to do it that way. Or 20% off 10 treatments, or 40% off 5 treatments. As long as the numbers, the mathematics work out, we're good. And you also get a discount off your entire next phase of care. So you get a discount at the update exam phase, but then for the next phase of care, you will get a 10% discount off of that as well. And the question might be asked, what if I've already done my my update examination? Can I still get these discounts? And the answer is yes. Once you've participated in the class, we're going to add the discount as a credit to your account. So the next time you pay for something, that credit will be there. Alright, so you don't have to worry. You don't have to fret. So these are they. So just to finalize again, what we were saying, alright, so I'm not getting the page that I want, so I've just got to skip ahead or skip back to it. Hold on, let me see if I can get to that, because I want to just do that one recap using the overall. There you are. So just to go over it with you one more time, just to show you, so the 7 keys to getting and staying well are: key number 1, sick care versus health care; key number 2, the truth about pain; 3, the nervous system; 4, lifestyle stresses cause subluxations; 5, the general adaptive potential; 6, identifying subluxations, and 7, taking responsibility. These are all very important, and I hope that you will get a chance to watch them or to look through it, because it is going to really help us to understand a lot. Now, as far as it relates to our online presence, for our online presence, we have GCN. Our webpage is gcnjamaica.com. On Facebook, we're at facebook.com/GCN Jamaica. For YouTube, and I think also for Instagram and for Twitter, just type in Gardner Chiropractic. It should bring you to our page. And also, I don't know if you're aware, but every Tuesday night, there's a patient health workshop that we have. Not a patient health workshop, a class that we have every Tuesday night on Facebook that is being broadcast from Radio Jamaica 94 FM, called Back to Health. And it's a show that we talk about health topics, various health topics, explaining it to you and helping you to understand what is required to be healthy. But this is a very good show, and we get good feedback from it. So, Back to Health Talk Show. So if you want to participate in any of our social media activities or following us on any of our pages, feel free to do so. But also try to make a good effort to at least visit our Facebook page to watch at least one of our shows. Very important. All right, so as we close off, I'm gonna say a couple things here. One is, for those of you who are interested in just staying online a little bit, I'm willing to stay on for about 5 minutes or so, answer any questions that you might have. I'm looking forward to being able to, be of some use, some resource to you. So we're going to stay online and allow you guys to be able to ask questions. I'm going to play the music in the background. But as it is now, we just want to thank you for participating tonight. I hope that you learned something. I hope it was interesting. I hope it was time well spent with us together. And we see that there are some persons who joined us late. It's not a problem. I'm going to leave the video up so you can feel free to just scroll back to it and to view the video in its entirety. You can just rewind to the beginning. So I see that somebody is suggesting that they're going to suggest a new patient. Well, if you're telling me because you want me to know Irene, I'm grateful that you're going to suggest a new patient, but I have a sneaking suspicion it has a little bit to do with the fact that you're going to get a nice little 20% discount. I'm just kidding. I know your heart is pure, and the discounts that you get, you well deserve, but I know you're not doing it because of the discount. So thank you so much. I'm going to stay online, like I said. If you have a question for me, just go in the chat section and just write down the question in the chat section. I wish you all the very best, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. So, all the best to you guys. All the best to you. And I'm going to switch over to some music here. So, any questions you have, feel free. Help you.
Try hard, but you wanna be my friend. And a place to hide in the woods. Here we go. Come back on the beat till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride.